Question before we go forward. Who here, prior to this fine event, had never attended one of their class reunions? Would you please stand? Any honest people? Well, good. We brought the person home. Now we move forward to the decade from 1980 through 1989. Representing the class of 1981 in this decade, Greta Wolf-Pulya. Greta.
The beginning of the 1980s clothing styles were gaucho boots, mini dresses, skirts, and cowl necks. Generally, the boys wore Levi's and kept their hair longer. As we moved into the mid-80s, Madonna style of clothing, sweatshirts, spandex, and other types of athletic wear became very popular. Also, big hairdos became the style for the girls. Reaching the end of the 1980s, short dresses and short haircuts became the fad. One of the haircuts for the boys was called a spike haircut, which you still see today. Making the headlines at the time was Ronald Reagan becoming president in 1981. During his term, he built a strong national defense and had a hard line against the Soviet Union. In 1981, Ronald Reagan and James Brady were shot in an assassination attempt. Both men survived. In January of 1986, the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded in mid-air shortly after its launch from Cape Canaveral, Florida. Moving on to Gladstone events, in 1981, Gladstone High School offered its first computer course. Students were taught on 3 Apple IIs, 2 of them newly purchased by the school and one owned by Dave Scherf. Kathy Ulatowski and Dave Scherf taught the course. Throughout the 1980s, Gladstone High School athletics soared. In 1984, Coach Dave Leightonen's cross-country girls placed 3 at the UP Finals, and the boys' team placed first at the Marquette Invitational. A purple tide swept across lower Michigan as thousands of fans chanted Upper Peninsula Power. Starting in 1985, the basketball Braves won Upper Peninsula Team of the Year awards. Coach Jack Ingalls won Coach of the Year 3 times in a row. Football Braves won district and regional titles in 1985. Coach John Molesky won the Coach of the Year award, and his team was named UP Team of the Year. In 1985, Athletic Director Don Fotenhauer retired after teaching at Gladstone High School for 37 years. In 1987, the wrestling team, coached by Ron Clinworth, won the Upper Peninsula Championship for the first time in Gladstone history. In 1988, the wrestlers won both district and regional crowns and advanced to the quarterfinals. At the beginning of the 1987-88 school year, Gladstone area teachers went on strike for the very first time in Gladstone history. They reached an agreement with the Board of Education over Labor Day weekend. As we reminisce about the 1980s, let us always remember the good friends and the good teachers and the wonderful town in which we live, Gladstone.
for the final question of the day. We have something very important to find out. Now, we'd like you to stand if you have at least 10 grandchildren. Please stand. At least 10. Now, please stay standing. Sit down if you have less than 15 grandchildren. Still standing, good. Sit down if you have less than 20 grandchildren. Anybody up yet? Is there someone up? Okay, the Ghs, I understand. They are responsible for spreading the most Gladstone genes. Let's hear it for them. Now we move into the final years and up to the present, the years 1900 to 1994. Representing the class of 1993, David Hansen.
Oh, the enthusiasm!
Well, whoa, how it works. Okay. Let's see. The 90s so far have been marked by changes in the social and political systems. In the 90s, we had the attempted coup in Russia. We had the Persian Gulf War. We had 3 presidential candidates. Big deal. We had the incident in Waco, Texas, and we even had the LA riots. Now, nature had her little hand in changing things because of the California earthquakes, and here in Gladstone, the tornado. Boy, was that fun. Anyway, now, another thing marked by the 90s is the use of computer-generated graphics, such as movies like even cartoons like Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and The Lion King, and Jurassic Park, because I don't know anyone who didn't jump during the raptor scene. And yeah, some of you saw the movie. Okay. Another thing, if the 80s were about spending, the 90s were certainly about conserving. Where recycling is a byword of the day. We're trying to save our resources and our money. And with Hillary in the White House, that'll be interesting. So, pretty much, as it says... I didn't think I was going to get applause for that one, but... Okay. So pretty much, the 90s aren't even halfway over. How are they going to turn out? Your guess is as good as mine. Of course, if the AT&T commercials are to be believed, we'll all be flying around in little space saucers like the Jetsons. But, so ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to present the 90s, and thank you personally from the cast for being here. And I'll see you at the bicentennial.